or if he's good to go.
This pitch is about areas, which is really cross-checking more than just the plane. Why do planes actually crash? Statistics say that an overwhelming proportion happen due to human error, both pilot error and ground staff errors, mechanical failure, bad weather, or really any combination of these factors. Our solution integrates with a range of IoT sensors and leverages the functionality of the ServiceNow platform, which Avneet will show you right now, to handle this problem.
So what you see on the screen is the AirX portal. As you can see, this is being used by the control room. The first use case that we want to demonstrate is the IoT sensors. So what happens is you can see there's a widget here which shows the runways. At the moment, all the three are available, and we've got the little setup of the Arduino IoT device here. And the use case that we're trying to present is there's a plane A which is not supposed to land on runway 2, but accidentally due to miscommunication it lands, and then as soon as it lands, you see that the runway here is turned red, and that has notified the control room and the pilots of the other planes that they are not supposed to use runway 2. Also here you can see that the alerts that are getting generated. So basically there are sensors on the aircraft that would detect if there is an outlet open. The control room agent can do a drone scan, which is going to open the drone camera, and the agent will be able to see what's happening around the aircraft, and if required, they can generate the alerts as well. Next, we are doing the pilot check. So as Stefan told, that the other major problem of the aircraft is the pilot errors. So basically, we're doing a three-step check, which tests the technical capability of the pilot and also the emotional status. So once the pilot takes the test, the results are available into the pilot check page to the counselor, and you can see that the score gets captured here in the slide bar. Now this comes from the emotion detection API and the tone analyzer API integration that we have done with the service now. So after having that meeting with the counselor, the scores can be reset by the counselor again and can be submitted. So that's all about AirX. Thank you.
Why do planes crash? Of course, there are lots of reasons, but the overwhelming majority of the incidents are caused by three major incident categories. First is human error, caused by pilot error as well as ground staff errors. Then we have malfunctioning equipment, and then bad weather. What we can do to solve these problems? We can learn from the things that we cannot control, and also we can control more of the things that we can actually be in control of. Our solution is using ServiceNow, the ServiceNow platform, and integration with IoT sensors, as well as some core platform capability in order to integrate all of this into a range of modules. So I'll pass this over to Avneet now to demonstrate the first use case.
So what we have on the screen is AirX portal. So you can see that on the left here you've got a runway widget, and over here you can see that we've got a little model of a runway. So the use case that we are presenting today is around the IoT sensors. We've got an IoT sensor Arduino board here, and the use case that we are presenting is we've got two airplanes. There's plane A, which needs to land on the runway 2 in 15 minutes, but due to an emergency, another plane landed on the runway, and as soon as it did, you can see that the widget, the runway 2 has turned red. What that means is it has alerted the control room and the pilots of the plane A that yes, the runway 2 is busy and cannot be used by any other aircraft.
Also, we also have another use case which is pretty difficult to show, but I'll walk you through it. For example, there are a number of sensors on the aircraft, and say one of the sensors responsible for the fuel outlet status say that the fuel outlet was left open. What happens is that information flows into the control room, and then the control room automatically dispatches a drone who has already received coordinates of the airplane as well as the area that has to be investigated. The drone flies to that area, scans the area, and in this particular case decides that it shouldn't trigger an alert because it still detects people in the area, which means that those people are still having some work in progress. So that's the drone scan area here. And last but not least, we are also ingesting data from a number of weather services for all the airport monitored locations. And based on previous trends that generated incidents based on particular bad weather data, we built a prediction model which is able to forecast that in future, for example, if we'll have extreme temperatures that might result in an accident, potential incident.
The next use case that we've got today is the pilot check module here. So basically we are trying to test whether a pilot is fit for taking the flight or not. So it's a 3-step process, straightforward. You would see that in the first step we are asking the technical questions, which is around the new aircraft, the new information technology that's there to check whether the pilot is aware about the new changes to the aircraft. The second, we are detecting the emotions. So you can see that as soon as I do the emotion detection, it opens the camera. So it's going to read the face of the pilot. Third thing that we do is the tone analyzer. So we ask some random questions, sample questions to the pilot, and the tone of the pilot, the response of the pilot would be analyzed. Now, based on all these inputs from the pilot, our algorithm calculates the score. So you would see we've got a little widget here which shows the worry, stress, quality of sleep, and different parameters. If the score is low, it sends a notification to the counselor, and the pilot would need to have a one-to-one meeting with the counselor just to make sure that what the problem is. The scores can be adjusted by the counselor during the meeting as well. This concludes our demo. Passing on to Stefan for the future enhancements.
So that being said, we would be very keen to invest more R&D into this project and expand the prototype, as this is only a prototype, but we'd love to see what you think about this whole initiative and project. Thank you.